Thank you for tuning into The Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Ariel Morocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and the interdimensional seer. Together they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources regarding many influences on our planet today. Our new format allows you to ask questions and hear the answers from the previous show. Post your question in the comment section below the YouTube video. Disclosures, insider intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures with Peter the Insider. I have some updates and news that we want to share with everyone. Peter has the latest news of what's going on regarding the incident that happened in the Middle East with Qasem Soleimani and President Trump's decision, as well as we'll be covering some issues regarding Australian fires and more. So without further delay, we're going to go right into it. Hello, Peter. How are you today?
Hello. Thank you for asking. I think that those pieces of info are so important that we need to jump right into it. Okay, so it is not more than 24 hours old, those info that Iranian General Qasem Soleimani was killed by an airstrike with drone MK9, Cold Reaper, and it is like, the latest generation from drone from an American weaponry, pieces of weaponry, if you want to call it that way. This kind of missile, because there was used specific missile, of course, many people will maybe disagree or something like that, but this specific piece of Hellfire Air R9X Ninja, there was fulfilled with specific agent. Specific kind of agent what not only causes explosion, but it made us some possibility to extract those people. They were killed in this airstrike, to extract them from your context of existence to another context of existence, because we've got some insiders in US Army, and that's good. And of course, because President Trump is our how can I call him, ally, so that was this decision was good for us, because Soleimani, he's full of wisdom from ancient Persian people, and people in your how can I call it, context of existence. They just don't want or can't, I don't know either, use their gain of wisdom, and in seventh dimension they respectively they won't. And it is key stuff in these complicated times. Once we want to get the pieces of puzzle together, if you want to call it that way, pieces of what? Pieces of matrix, because matrix will collapse, that's for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to just read quickly about, for those of you that are not familiar with the story.
Yeah.
This is it's a link. It's online, but it's just a general overview of what happened. The question wasn't. It's called the Market Watch or Market Extra. Who was Qasem Soleimani, and why is his death a major development in the U.S.-Middle East relations? By Mark DeCamber. It says Qasem Soleimani, leader of the foreign wing of the Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, was killed in a U.S. airstrike in Baghdad International Airport Friday, local time escalating long brewing animosities between Tehran and Washington. Donald Trump authorized the airstrike that killed Soleimani, a top Iranian general who is considered one of the most revered military leaders in the Islamic Republic. At the direction of the president, the U.S. military has taken decisive defensive action to protect the U.S. personnel abroad by killing, the U.S. Department of Defense said in a statement. In a tweet, Iran's foreign minister Mohammad Javad Zarif described the strike that killed the general as an act of international terrorism, the U.S. act of international terrorism targeting and assassinating General Soleimani, the most effective force fighting Daesh or ISIS. Al-Nusra al-Qaeda et al. Is extremely dangerous and foolish escalation, he wrote in Twitter. The U.S. bears responsibility for all consequences if it's rogue adventurism, he said. But I mean, this is, of course, their perspective, and everyone's going to have their perspective on this. One is, an act of terrorism, the U.S. doing that, but on the other hand, it is as a result of, the U.S. said, the assassination of Soleimani was an attempt to deter attacks against U.S. embassies, service members, or diplomats. So the first action was the attack on the U.S. embassies, and why the death of the general is particularly significant in the intensifying tensions between the U.S. and Iran. So it's, trying to who's right or who's wrong in the issue. Either way, there's always been some tension in that part of the world, and of course, the terrorism that we've had to deal with over time. So this is something that the ACIO has been working on, not necessarily this particular issue overall, but to try to hold together the matrix.
I don't think that this is good. Good name for this situation as it is issue or not, because technically we've got our insiders inside U.S. Army, inside U.S. United States Air Force or something, because technically that was those drones are technically between Army and between Air Force and all kind of those stuff. So that basically means that we used all of those things because we we need to extract all those full of wise, full of wisdom people to another dimensions. Most of them to temporarily dimensions, like is a seventh dimension, or I don't know, ninth or something. The most stable is fifth dimension. We know it for a very long time, and the situation in Middle East is very complicated. We know it. What is the problem? That it looks very bad. Of course, it's normal that people will look at it as a bad side. I'm talking about like very, very bad side, from very bad side, very bad perspective that we are, how can I say it correctly, uh, challenging another people and other organizations and other states. We are supporting it, that it is good way to protect your context of existence by killing certain specific people or groups of people or organizations, infiltrate organizations and all kind of those bad stuff. The situation is that there are many situations that we can't do it another way. This is I don't know, the main part of problem, that people will not like it. I know it, but sometimes we simply can't avoid this situation, I think.
Peter, are these people coming into our reality, or were they already here? These ones that are, supposed to be more advanced, and they're assisting in our context of reality, as you say. So are they supposed to be here, or were they already here, but they need to be somewhere else?
For their own safety, and it is definitely not, I don't know, for example, Western world against Eastern world or something. No, definitely not. It is because mankind against and whatever. I'm talking about alien races, either alien races or hybrids, crossbreeds, and that's the problem. That this bigger context is, how can I say it, flying away from people. People either they don't want or they can't see it, that it is way much more complicated. They just get in front of situation and make it 0 or 100. I mean 100. I mean like black and white, or I don't know, green or red or something. Yeah, that's the problem. No, it is not like this, and that's the problem, that many people don't want to comprehend the situation that way. Yeah, that's the problem, I think.
So can I just state that Qasem Soleimani is what is he, a hybrid, crossbreed? What is he?
Yeah, that's the situation, that is like more than 660 incarnation in this. I mean, it was 600. Give me a second. 660 exactly. 660 incarnation in your context of existence. I mean, it was, sorry, and of course. The situation with gaining the wisdom and all kind of those things, it failed because those bad entities, I'm talking especially about dark ones, and when I'm not talking about either hybrids or crossbreeds or bad, what they are, bad aliens. I am talking about
Low dimensional beings,
dark and black astral entities, and those are really, really bad, and they can do crazy ass stuff, believe me. And the easiest, I mean, the most effective way how to prevent to get all kind of good stuff, good wisdom, piece of wisdom, to wrong hands, the most effective solution was just to extract him to another context of existence, because it is not only it is not only some sort of dimension or another system of flowing the time or something. No, it is not so easy. It is much more complicated, right? That's it.
How many of these type of beings are here on the planet that are similar to this? Is there a number or?
No. I mean, we are trying to monitor them, but it is absolutely impossible to make even close to the actual number, because it is so crazy, at least for us, to get even we are making such a quite a good how can I say it, count of good and bad, and good and bad. It is some sort like Eiffel Tower in Paris, or Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. I'm talking about painting. You start paint Golden Gate from one side, but it is such a complicated and long-term work, that you once you finished another side, you can start it over and over again. And it's the same story is with Eiffel Tower in Paris. Once you finished the work of painting, in the very top, you can start from above, so it's basically like that. So we have such numbers, but those numbers are not exact. We have such, as I like to say, guess, but it can, as I like to say, this is our lucky guess. But it is, for example, it can be 30, maybe 50 over, more or less or something, what should I do? Should I tell people some merciful lies, or should I tell people the truth? So no, definitely not. I want to say people true that it is how it is, even for such a big organization and as we are. I want to say the truth, because we've got our own limits, and even monitoring of such entities are extremely complicated, especially once we are talking about new types of hybrids and crossbreeds, because they are mixing together all the time.
Yeah, the new ones are you can see they're different. They take more reckless challenges, where the old ones are very good at hiding unless they come out like this. Like this Qasem Soleimani is he made himself very public, and he's kind of trying to push this leadership of the jihad and so forth.
But technically it isn't so easy to do it in also called good side or wrong side, because such a situation happened in Western world too. Either we are talking about, politicians, famous businessmen, or celebrities or whatever, For example, help me, the name. She's younger, very popular. Okay, I got it. Maybe older people, I don't want to underestimate, okay, so sorry people, but maybe older people will be not so familiar with Selena Gomez, right? And because there is situation, I'm talking about she's very highly advanced crossbreed, but there something twisted upside down, and then since of this self immune, I'm talking about autoimmune illness, lupus start to manifest on her, so for example, okay, just for example, and she's very popular, like what she's singer, actress,
Yeah.
and I don't know what. And that's pretty much it, so even if you were made, or I don't know, were made, I mean not in not normal way, so in vitro also called, so even if you are, I don't know, crossbreed or hybrid or whatever, something happened accidentally, and bam, you are pretty much screwed, that's it.
Yep. So, getting back to so when you took this being right here, was he already existing in another like parallel Qasem Soleimani? Does he exist elsewhere, or you just took his soul up to?
As I told you, he existed. He existed in a many many parallel what? I don't want to say realities, many parallel or other context of existence, but his 660 incarnation. And what is it? It's not such a complicated situation for him, because he will be just incarnated,
Again,
as many, again. Because it happened many times that there are people, I don't know, like after 50, 70 or 80 years, and they're like, oh no. And that's it. People will not believe that it is like almost, do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. So when they die in a situation like this, do they sort of learn, and when the next incarnation they don't get into the same issue? Do they learn from it?
I don't want to say it will be like that, but in most cases, yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
In most cases, yeah.
It helps them and it helps everyone else around them to just...
Yeah, but as I told you, it is not about him. It is not about him. But, it was not about him, but it was about the knowledge, the wisdom. He and his squad gained through all the situation when this what it was like civil wars and jihad and all kind of those things started. So it was like 22 years last, officially 9 years or 8 plus, years started in Syria and all kind of those things. So he and his squad gained a lot of issues, because once they made their own military bases, they made, they dug a lot of times very deep, and they got some artifacts. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Yeah, and do you know what was the main part of problem? Farsi language. I mean the language it's speaking in Iran. Not a problem. I mean very complicated to learn for other people from Arabic republics, but other Arabic republics. Sorry, but once you can speak Farsi, it's not a big deal for you to learn even ancient variations of Arabic's languages, you know. And that was the main stuff, the key stuff for him and his squad, that they can gain a lot of very important info even for us.
So the ancient Persians used a form of magic similar to, not similar, but like Egypt. They had their own magic.
It is not good. Definitely, you don't want to mess up with this kind of stuff, because 1, 2, 3 Zoroastrian. It was very like, how can I say it? It was very complicated, but I think from one hand, at least from my point of view, yeah, from one hand, or from one perspective, powerful religion, but from another perspective, extremely dangerous, because once you want to use it for good purpose, it will, how can I say it, like, be for really good purposes, right? But what is extremely crazy, once you will misuse it for bad stuff, as I like to say, bad news bears. And that's the stuff they are, technically they was, and they still are, and they always will be using for all the times, all the times, you know. That's it.
So Peter, I've had problems with Zoroaster in the past. I've seen him, and he does stuff in the quantum. And
but I just want to ask you, why do you think it is so complicated? Because once you are psychic and go all kind of stuff, and I know that you are, because there are many people, they doubting that if you are not fake, and all kind of those things, and I know that you are. It is not a big deal to get in conflict with Zoroaster, because he's doing what he's doing, huh?
Yeah. Well, I know it's an ancient magic, and I also know that that's how they were able to, through ISIS, were able to hit certain locations. They use this magic to disguise themselves, or create an illusion where people can't see what's happening, and so a lot of them have gotten away with certain things because of it.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you that it is, how can I say it? It is not so complicated to get either into a conflict or to gain a lot of wisdom, but it is the same stuff that, okay, but be aware what you will wish,
right?
Because your wish can turn against you. But that's the stuff that most people don't know. Sorry, I shouldn't.
No, it's true. It's true, Peter. There's always a warning, and even in my case, I didn't ask to be psychic. It just is something that happened. And you know, it's good and it's bad at the same time. It's very dangerous because you can stumble on things and you have no idea, and then before you know it, there's a problem. But like for
Yep.
example, I'm going to give you an example of what happened. I went out to California to a place called the Joshua Tree, and I was there with a friend, and
Mm-hmm.
it turned really bad very quickly because Zoroaster was there, and he was doing manipulating stuff in the U.S. And there was like this void of field. I could see that he had like some kind of matrix access or something there. And then all of a sudden, we kept on seeing the same car over and over and over
I
again.
just want to tell you that there is practically no single thing or being or whatever animal that he can't make access to. So, from my point of view, nothing complicated that he can do practically whatever. Yes, you are right.
And so my friend, her name's Jennifer, we kept on looking at the cars. The cars were mimicking her car. It was the same car over and over and over again. We saw about, like, I don't know, over 20, 30, 40 maybe of the same exact car. Just while we were driving through that park. It was surreal. It was so strange. And when we were driving home, there was a shooting in a I don't know if it was like I don't know, like a Home Depot or some kind of big shop, and it was almost like we were ready to pull into that area, and there was like a shooting, like a random shooting for no reason. It was very, very weird, but yeah, he's highly aggressive, and that kind of energy is something that we're contending with. It people think it's just the culture, the people itself. The people, they don't know what's going on that live in Iran. It's these other beings that are coming through that are doing stuff, and so now they're at risk because of someone like this Qasem Soleimani, who belongs, you know, somewhere else. Probably he's too advanced to be here. You know.
But I'm just telling you that it is the very same and in the Western world too, that there are many people, as I told you, either politicians or, I mean, successful politicians on international way or rich businessmen or, you know,
Yes.
whoever.
They're all over the
And
world. Yes. Yes.
yeah,
That's our chaos. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the
that's it.
chaos here.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, I
For
know, and it's
example, it's extremely complicated, and that was the reason why he stepped out. All of a sudden, help me, Mark Zuckerberg. You know, it was all of a sudden that it was like lightning strike from the clear sky that he decided to stepped out from practically from everything, you know, and it was because he was so overwhelmed by everything practically that he decided to get out from everything because what he can't stand this anymore, and it was some on some interview, I can't stand this anymore. And once they start to ask him, what do you mean by this? And he was like, information overwhelming, you know. And it is absolutely crazy because of course he invited he starts the Facebook, you know. I
yeah.
mean, he invented the Facebook. Of course, he invented the Facebook. But the problem is that those, how can I call it? Those flows of info going from everywhere to him, just for, of course, there was extremely complicated pattern how it worked, but for him, he got tons of abilities, but he can't control them, you know. So it is either you get very sick, I mean seriously sick, for example as the lupus, or I don't know, like cancer or something, or you are not sick, respectively. Sorry, it is not being sick. You don't get diseases, serious diseases as is cancer or lupus or something, but you are feeling sick. I mean, like extremely tired. You barely can get out of the bed, and you feel always tired and all kind of those things, you know. Very strange for normal people.
Right. Well, even like you're saying that the crossbreeds, hybrids, these other advanced, multi-incarnated beings,
Yep.
are not immune. Being in our context of existence can be a challenge for them as well, because they're still taking in a lot of what's going on, and then there are others like them that may be conflicting with them in thought and feeling, and they need to.
But I don't think you are right in this, that conflict and all kind of those things. No, I don't think that it is like this. No, I think it is that they've got those highly advanced beings, if you wanna call them that way. No, I think the situation is that they've got closed channels to their super abilities, if we want to call them that way. No, and that's it. Once their channels start to open to these super abilities or extra abilities, they will start to be overwhelmed, and they can get some serious illness or whatever.
Yeah, no, I understand that. That's what I guess I said it in a different way, but yeah. And it's and they're not being here. It looks like they have an advantage because they have these additional abilities. But sometimes, in some ways, it's worse, isn't it? In some ways?
Definitely it is. Definitely it is. For example, Mozart, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. You know that he was like crazy. He started to write the music in, I don't know, he was 6 or 5 or 6 or something, but he literally burned himself inside out, and he died very, very, very very, help me, very young, that's it. He died, I don't know what, like 35 something, 34, 35 years old. Yeah, like that. Yeah, but he composed more than 600 works, I'm talking, for music, and that's it. It. That's pretty much it. I think, at least,
So, do you have any? Are you allowed to give us any idea of what's going to happen now in the Middle East regarding this situation?
I don't want to say I have allowance or something, but I think that things, I mean, like what? Things start to move finally, and I don't want to say in a good or bad way. I think just start to move.
Is this leading up to? I don't want to imply anything, but I know people are thinking of this. Is this leading up to a World War III?
Definitely yes. Because there are, how can I say it? There are few places. There are few places. They are like epicenters, you know, or as I like to say, fireplaces, you know, and they will just connect together. It will be like in World War II, the same case scenario, that it started with back in 1929. And you know what happened. You know what happened in Wall Street. And
yeah, the collapse of the Great Depression. The Great Depression.
Yeah,
and all that.
exactly. Black Tuesday. And it started there and didn't lead to Second World War, but it takes 10 years, you know, 10 years. And something like this, we are not, I think that we are on edge of it. Yeah, it will not take so long time. But I think that once this will start, sorry, we will be okay, pretty much. And I will tell you why. Because we will in the process of transformation to fifth dimension, and it will not take any action for us. I mean, for people and all kind of entities and nature and all kind of those stuff. Once we will transform to fifth dimension.
That's the whole world, like humanity.
Yes, but I'm not talking humanity. I am talking about this part of humanity. They will be, I don't know, advanced enough mentally advanced enough to be transformed to being in a fifth dimension, I think. I mean, I think that, I don't know if I was able to make it clear or not, but this is how it will work.
Yeah, and I think
maybe people are not optimistic, but this is it what I'm talking about and how it will be.
And those in the fifth dimension will not experience World War III?
Definitely not.
Okay. So,
definitely not. What? Just ask me. Just ask me.
Well, someone had a question, and they kept on asking me, how is it that I was able to communicate with you if you were in the fifth dimension? Because you said you were in the fifth dimension, and I was talking to you with my regular laptop, as I usually do. So what is the answer to that? How were you and I able to communicate during this time?
It is the same as we are making these interviews, not such a complicated thing, I believe.
That we're making the interviews? Is that what you said?
Yeah. It is the same stuff. Nothing complicated, at least for me.
But I was in one dimension. You were in another. Is that correct?
Definitely yes. Nothing complicated, at least.
But you have the technology to still be able to communicate.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said it was you have the ability to communicate to other dimensions without a problem. So it's not me. I haven't done anything different. Just using the same as I was before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Okay, because someone was saying that, well, they were questioning whether or not we were legitimate and whether we were telling the truth, and I said, well, I don't have any incentive to. I mean, I could talk about all sorts of things. I don't need to make up a story like this to get attention. Just want to get the information out. So, but I didn't have any way to fully explain it other than it was your technology. So I wanted you to, explain it because I know I couldn't. Okay, so off to. Do you want to get into the next topic, or is there anything further that you want to say?
Yeah, I think we definitely need to talk about Australian, what it is?
Australian Kangaroo Company.
I'm talking about help me. What it is? It is. Give me a second. It is Australian variation of Delphi House. What is Australian Kangaroo organization or company? They are using many different names, or company or companion or whatever. It is crazy. They are using various variation of the names. Most Australian Kangaroo organization or company or conglomerate or something. The stuff is that they are using their own crazy stuff in yes, of course it is absolutely crazy, but it is like it is. They are mixing perfumes here in Down Under because we've got very specific flora here. Most of them are endemites. That means that they are only here in Australia and nowhere else in the world. And once I saw what they did. I'm talking about very specific situations. Then they picked practically everything they got from those part of the bushes, and then they started to burn everything from upside down, everything. It is absolutely crazy, and I don't know what should I think about that.
Yeah, I mean, people are pretty sensitive about the whole topic because it's, you have, the people from Australia in particular are very sensitive about it. I tried to have a discussion about it, and I know that some people really, they want to see that it's resolved, but it's horrifying when you see how many fires there are. And there are also some people that are actually doing, people have been caught setting the fires, a couple of them, not just one. And I pointed out today.
Do you know why? It is nothing complicated, at least from my point of view, because they did what they did. They just want to leave their hands fine, if you want to call it that way. I mean, like, their hands, clean. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do, yeah. Like, they don't want anyone to associate them as being involved in it.
Yeah, so it is Australian Kangaroo organization or company or conglomerate. This is absolutely crazy. I don't know what should I think about them.
So that there was, like I said, that they have caught a few people that, I don't know, are they just mind controlled or are they actually working for them?
Mind controlled. Yeah,
that's that's what they look like. There was a guy that was mind controlled, and they said that his name was Peter Burgess, which I thought I told you about him. Yeah, and he was a repeat arsonist, but he was very, very excited about. He wanted to be a volunteer he wanted to be a real firefighter. They rejected him. He became a volunteer firefighter, and then he ended up starting the fires because he was getting almost like a high from it or excited from it.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah. So which is that's part of the mind control or implant or whatever they're doing with them? I don't know. Or is it the perfume?
Most of those situations started once you are under influence of perfume. Yeah, you are right. And practically they can do what they just want just because of perfume.
They put him away for 2 years and then they let him out again. They said he had no psychological therapy, which didn't make any sense either. It's almost like they created some kind of weird scenario for him that they just let him out again, and then he went to another part of the country and fires started again, and he was showing up right at the time, right after the fires were discovered. And so they asked him again, "Did you do this?"
So what basically have no absolutely no logic at all.
Right.
Because once I am doing something what is illegal and I don't want to be caught, of course, and this it's just funny for me,
Yeah. Do you think that they deliberately used someone with a name similar to yours, or is that a coincidence?
No, it's just coincidence.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, of course, I'm, this guy doesn't look anything like you, isn't like you at all in any way, shape, or form. But I thought, well, maybe it just was a strange situation, but there are others too that fit this profile, and so similar. It reminds me of the shooters, the ones doing the false flag shooting, in the U.S. and same kind of thing. It's like they're under some kind of mind control. They at the time it seems like it's the right thing to do. They're disconnected with what's right or wrong or something.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and you can see it in their eyes. They don't look right, or very cold or disconnected in a way.
Yeah, absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
What's gonna look at all the animals
but what about all? Technically, the situation is that they are using kangaroos. Because I just want to tell you something, right?
Yeah.
What is the name for the animal kangaroo from? The roots. The people from Europe, they came to Australia and they asked, what's the name of the animal? And they just Aborigines, they just what? And I mean, in their own language, and it was kangaroo, what means I don't understand. And this is the exact same stuff I want to point at. This kind of perfumes are so extremely complicated, and you can turn people in such zombies into, right, that it is even they creators, of course, I'm talking about Delphi House, it's like I don't understand, and that's pretty much it. It's the secrets, I'm talking secrets, so some sort of how can I say it correctly, like some sorts of aromas, odors that they are getting from kangaroos, and they can make mixtures of that. It's absolutely crazy, right?
So then even the smell of a kangaroo would trigger for them.
Yeah. But I'm just telling you, right? Can I say it? Like, for example, right, that they are using some old stuff perfume, right? Nothing complicated. And then they just add this odor from kangaroo, and it start to have extremely crazy as effects to people.
It's now the ACIO is based
Yeah.
in Australia. How is it that they weren't able to stop this before it got out of control?
We don't want to do it, to be perfectly honest.
You don't want to be involved at all?
No, not in. No, not at all.
Can't interfere.
Give me a second. No, until it will get to certain specific time. I don't know if you know what you are trying to say.
You can't get involved until a certain time?
Yeah, into certain time. Once key actions will be executed. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to say.
What about all of the innocent animals and different creatures?
It is not about animals. We want to save your context of existence, because your context of existence will turn into 5th-D, but without those further actions, all of our plan will crash, if you want to call it that way,
Yeah. Okay. So you're the ACIO, the building or structure or whatever, wherever you guys are located in Pine Gap? Is it Pine Gap?
Yeah, you
area?
are absolutely right. Absolutely right.
That's not been affected by any of this?
No.
What about the Aboriginal people that are probably very distraught over this whole situation as well?
They will be good, I think. Because they will be good, not I think, but I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because they are immune on such situations.
And a lot of the people in Australia are very kind, very nice people. I just feel for them that, I know this is hard.
Yeah. Okay, so I am sure, I don't want to say 100% sure, but almost sure that native Australians will be pretty much fine, because they are deeply connected with normal, classic Australian nature, not by man-built structures, if you want to call it that way,
What about all the animals?
I don't think that animals will be how affected, because animals are pretty much prepared for the transformation.
They're naturally aligned with with the way it should be. And of course the people themselves in Australia are very kind people, like I said, and I'm sure.
Yeah, but they don't know.
Depends on the individual, of course, where the consciousness is.
Of course, but that's the question, why people don't believe all kind of those stuff. Why people don't want to talk about all kind of those stuff. That what is this? They are afraid, I think, of the change. Major changes you know.
When are the fires going to stop? I mean, it looked like there was going to be a little bit of rain coming in. I don't know if that's going to stop it.
It will stop once everything will set up, you know.
And do you have like an estimated time when this is?
I don't know. I don't want to say anything exact. One is it not as exact, you know.
Okay.
I don't want to say it that way, but
you say sort of soon or like
sooner. I don't know, a few weeks. But the situation is, at least from my point of view, that as I told you, you maybe don't like it, but the stuff is that certain, you know, programs, certain, I don't know how can I say it correctly, certain bad things need to happen in order to get all the bad stuff be cleared out. I don't know if you understand me.
I do. I understand, and I see them, which brings me up to I did a discussion. Well, actually, it was just me doing a special report regarding what was going on because I felt like I was being directed to talk about it. Just it was 2 days ago, and on the 2nd, and so when I went to sleep that night, or when I went to go to lay down, I was seeing these beings looking at me from Australia that had these. They looked like black elves.
Yes, because I want to tell you that this is it. Sometimes the situations are so. I mean, the circumstances are so complicated and situations is so bad that, as I like to say, the scene needs to be cleaned by itself. It is some sort of phrase from the wise people. They like to call themselves wise people, and you know, it is some sort, I don't know, like for example, everything in such a region or place need to be burned, you know, completely, or there should be the war should be studied or something like this. I mean, the cleaning process, what will be very bad, and all kind of those stuff, you know.
Yeah.
What is considered being very negative, you know, and by normal people, but it is like, hey, it is just the nature, you know, nature of the normal processes in the process, or as I like to say, in the process of transformation, you know, if you want to call it that way. There are many ways how you can call it, but basically we are talking about the same stuff. Yeah.
So I just want to describe to you what these beings look like. So I went to, you know, I knew that I was that there was a lot of stuff going on there. That's why, you know, I felt directed to talk about it, and then you're bringing it up now. But when I went to rest that night, they showed up, these beings with very pointed ears, black. Their whole bodies were black. They looked like black elves or maybe black devils. I don't know what they were. I don't know. What were those? They were looking at me afterwards. So what do you call those?
Black devils or black what?
They had very pointed ears. Their whole body, everything was black.
They just want to get the bunnies.
Get the bunnies?
Yes, bunnies. You
It's
don't know what I'm talking about bunnies. Um, Rabbits.
Yeah.
They like to eat rabbits, but the young rabbits, small rabbits, so bunnies.
So this species was looking for the bunnies?
But this is not only about want to see and eat bunnies or something. It is they are. Yeah, this will not be good, but okay. They need to eat bunnies and vomit them in or rests of them in another place of Earth. It is something like big. Uh, it is something similar like, for example, okay. Uh, like like birds, big birds. They are eating something and then vomit it for their small birdies. Do you know what I mean? Some species of birds, you know. So it is something like that.
So they're just looking for their prey.
And not for them. Yes, but not for them.
For who? For another group?
Not for another group, for another species.
Another species.
Yeah.
And who's the other species?
We don't know them. We just heard about them. We even never saw them.
Why were they looking at me then?
We know that they are like snakes, very fast and very,
Seen those, yeah.
like slick or something like,
Really, yeah, I've seen those. Yeah.
And we don't like them. And the ones some one of them showed somewhere, it is bad news bears. And that's the reason, or that was the reason, why we was aware in if this extraction of Soleimani will be successful. So it was, we were like between two stones. Or we don't want to make this extraction so early on one hand, but on the other hand, those also called black ones started to being in interest of that. So it's like, holy crap, we don't like this.
Yeah, well, there was a group of them, and they were looking at me, and I could see them very clearly, and they didn't communicate anything, but it felt like they had bad intentions. So I, talked to some others to keep an eye on them or see what had to be done there. Yeah. But because I didn't want them attacking me while I was sleeping.
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
But they were in Australia. They were in Australia.
Yes, I'm just telling you. Yes, you are right.
I also felt like they were involved with the fires. Those beings.
Fires? What?
They were involved with the fire. Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Okay, now I get it. But I think that it is nothing bad at all, because every single piece of being want just to live, if you want to call it that way.
Well, they exist. You're saying that they already exist in our existence.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
Exactly.
Just that's fine, but they're not welcome in my space. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but sometimes you don't have another choice.
I know.
Simply.
Which brings us up to maybe another topic. I don't know if we're ready to go into another topic.
Not a prop.
The Shaw family, because the Shaw family got into my space.
Oh no! Again.
I saw another dream last night, and I was in a very big house.
Of course, they love big mansions, huge mansions, of course.
And they were trying to go to some kind of area, something, but it wasn't Area 51, but yeah, it was very strange, but I don't know where they were trying to bring us. But I remember going into a few different rooms. And so the Shaw family is also they're part of Delphi, or which group are they part of?
The question should be the vice versa. Which part of group or whatever they aren't.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Because
they
they've got, I don't know, like 15 children or something, so they've got different branches, and they are infiltrated practically, all kind of corporations or programs, agendas, that's the main part of problem.
This family is the same ones that caused you problems, you said.
Yeah, you are absolutely right, but it doesn't matter because it is not problem for me. It's problem for practically the whole civilizations. I mean, our mankind. That's it.
And it's a reality, but it's not necessarily here, but it feels like it's here, but it's not.
The problem is that if they can hijack pretty much all kind of realities if they want. That's the main part of the problem. So for them, it is nothing complicated to be to be in a certain reality as base one, and they can go, to another one if they want. And what they want, I mean, talking like telling like talking. Sorry, I am telling like for certain operation, if you want to call it that way, certain operation.
Well, they wanted to go to this place that was, I think, like Area 51, but it wasn't called Area 51.
No, and it wasn't called even S4. They just created such stuff for themselves, for their purposes.
Yeah, they made it look like it was some kind of field trip or something.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
What did... And you don't know exactly what they're doing to people there. I'd like to know what they did with me there. Not happy about it.
But that's it. That they experimented very often. Sorry, but it is for me. It's up to make some fun because once I will take it serious, it will blow my head. So the stuff is because they are sometimes the very same as monarch is, that they just want to make some experiment. That's it. Jesus, I don't like that.
Well, the first time, and this is kind of embarrassing for me, but the first time they tried to get me into being a prostitute in one of their rooms.
No, you are not right. It was fancy lady. I'm sorry.
Fancy lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they don't like it. No, 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 no. I don't wanna call it that name that way. And I was like, okay. And which kind of way you want to call it? Fancy lady. I'm like, okay, not a problem. This is crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, and I remember waking up and saying, what in the world just happened? You know, what was that all about? And it was very, very surreal, very bizarre. And there was a woman, I don't remember her face, but I remember the man, and he looked like he was in his late 20s. And you said that I was probably younger, which and then I showed you a picture of me when I was younger. I don't know if you think that.
Yeah, yeah, I
that's
know,
right.
I know that you are right.
Um, how many people are being pulled into these realities now, because they seem to be very big? I mean, they have their house, supposedly house, is huge. I mean, it's like a city.
Yes, you are absolutely right, but this is what I talked about all the time. That if they can build huge mansions, what they technically can create their own reality. I told you about that.
You told me, but we haven't shared it with the public yet.
Yeah, that's true, but the
Yeah.
problem is that, for example, I'm stuck here with my squad, and it is on such a crossroads. What it is, I don't know. Crossroad house, and there are, big roads, like 8 strips, for here, for there. We can hear the train, all kind of those things. Airport. It is crazy.
Wow. Yeah, and you said they have like a restaurant, they have a casino, they have everything.
Yes, yes, but not in our house. I'm talking about houses.
Shaw's
Yeah,
house.
you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you can hear the highway and all that stuff you said to me, and I've heard some of that too. So it's probably that's because they're pulling me in. I don't know how long this has been going on for, but I want to stop it.
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
And
Absolutely right.
God knows how many other people have been in that situation. So, and anything that are you figuring out how to do something about this Shaw's reality?
That's the question. We don't know yet how to be 100% sure, in order to eliminate those, if you want to call it that way, influences.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know them. I mean, the ways. We can do certain stuff, but not being 100% sure that yes, okay, we can do it that and that way. No, and that's the most part of the problem. At least I think.
But you're working on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are right. Absolutely right. But we can't make some early steps, very big steps, in order to collapse the reality. We shouldn't do it. Do you know what I mean? Definitely not.
What would happen, for example, if you collapse a reality like that too fast? What would be the problem?
I just don't want to even to what? Uh, I just don't want to even to imagine that. This will be definitely good stuff. No.
Because of the repercussions or the problems that it could cause?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And would it impact our present existence?
Yeah, exactly. You are absolutely right. That's the problem. We don't want to what? We don't want to make some more and fast what? Uh, Fast steps and everything will, you know what, collapse and it will make some domino effect.
Yeah.
We don't want to.
No. So, and anything else that you want to share with us, Peter?
I think that we are good to go, but from our perspective, and we know, and I mean, you told me that we've got questions.
Yeah, we can ask questions now. So the first question is from Jacob Wingate. Would be great to hear Peter's thoughts on the Q movement. Who is behind it? How legitimate is it? What is the end goal? Is it positive for humanity?
What?
The QAnon.
QAnon? I think
Yeah.
it will be good, but on the very end. Now, once it is process in progress, I don't think it is. I think it is too fast and too early to judge. What do you think, Jessica? Huh?
Yeah, same way too. I mean, it's because it's informing people and helping them to know what's going on, and it's keeping them kind of supportive of some positive things, but it's not all of the information. So I think it's limiting people if they're just doing that. They're not getting as much information as they should be getting to help them for whether it's having more of an awareness of what's going on the planet, or for the 5D
50, yeah.
50 transition. I don't know. I don't think that alone is going to help. I think it's okay, but some people are so it takes a lot of your time if you get into they're like riddles and challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are absolutely right. And the problem is that there are few QAnons. What is few QAnon's branches, and there are some misleading branches. But the problem is that we don't have even developed algorithms in order to determine which one are good one and which one are bad one. I'm talking like 100%, right? So I don't want to talk about QAnon like yes, this is good and no, this is bad. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. And I mean, I think, like you said, the original QAnon that comes out with the information, and then there were those that go in and dissect what the meaning is and everything, and that's where interpretations and which direction they lead people into can really have a major impact. And so you have to
You're absolutely right.
Be careful that you don't get caught up in that the additional information. So the next question is from Brainstorm. Is Fukushima similar to Chernobyl And is Delphi now weakened like Monarch and Mobius are?
But I don't know if I talked about this. The situation was that I think that I talked about that. That it wasn't nuclear accident in Chernobyl. It was just some what?
Experiment?
Yeah, experiment. Because in Eastern Slavic people, a lot of them they have RHX, what means without RH, and in Fukushima it was absolutely different situation because they want in the army, words. It is like clear the perimeter because they need to have a certain space for doing their what it is dirty stuff, and they what is the better way how to clear the specific space than like talk to people that told people bye bye, that's it, this is irradiated area.
Right, to get everyone, but yeah. All right, so there was also, there was a question too that if Australia with the fires was, if they were trying to create a railway and they were just going to clear the property and use, if that was part of the intention. Someone asked that question. I don't know the name.
Sorry, about what?
Well, we're getting back to Australia, and someone asked if, and I don't remember the name of the person that asked in the questions, if the fires have something to do with clearing the land to create like a train railway or some kind of travel.
Yeah, like this, but the situation is totally different. They just want to hide their tracks. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Hide their tracks.
Yeah.
I'm talking about,
That's Australia.
Yes, they did what they did. I'm talking about bad stuff, especially with Australian Kangaroo organization or association or whatever corporation, and they did what they did. What basically means that. I don't want to say they killed animals, but they burned everything down by a purpose. You know that.
Yeah.
And you know why.
Well, if they were getting the perfume and doing
yes,
different
of
things,
course,
they didn't want,
of course,
to see
yeah.
what's going on. But they had others do the dirty work so that they weren't erased.
Yes.
Yeah, so we get that. And aside from that, no other questions that I can think of right now, but I'm sure that others will come up.
I think that we've got another ones or not. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe not.
Let me just double check to see if there's. No, I don't see any other questions. Well, is Delphi and Monarch and Mobius, are they starting to weaken?
What do you mean weaken?
Weaken, get weaker, not as powerful, having less of an impact.
Weaker? No, I think that's the main part of the problem because they are. I don't want to say merging together, but they are focusing on their own stuff in order to make mutual projects. mutual benefit projects, what is extremely dangerous.
Yeah, that is very bad. But that's what happened.
Monarch, Mobius, help me. Delphi and all kind of those organizations. That's bad.
Yeah. Um, I'm having people contacting me too regarding AI, a lot of AI. And yesterday I was contacting the cable company, the company that gets my internet. And
Okay.
and I felt like there was some kind of merged consciousness with AI focusing in on my conversation. And then someone called me like the completely wrong name, which I thought the whole thing was weird, very weird. But there were humans that I was talking to, at least I believe.
And why do you think it was weird? What was the weirdness about?
If to be honest, I'm gonna just come out and say it, and then you can either say I'm right or wrong. But I'll tell you what I felt like. It felt like Elizabeth Bathory merged with AI, and she was coming through. That's what it felt like.
Oh, that's really weird.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
So I was thinking, like, has she been converted into cyborg or something, and kind of that singularity thing?
Okay. Okay. I mean, it's not okay, but that.
It's
I
very
just get
bad.
it.
If that's the case, it's extremely bad.
Yeah, this is definitely the case. Definitely the case.
Yeah.
And why do you think it happened yesterday?
I don't know. Maybe it was the company, but is merged with this AI already. It's kind of an international or a national company.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe yes, maybe not. I don't know.
What do you think?
I think that it can be the case.
Or is she's trying to she's targeting me?
Or it can be like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be. I don't want to say it is, but it can be. Yep.
Yeah, it reminded me of that Lucy, the movie Lucy.
No, I don't like the movie Lucy.
Yeah, I don't either.
Who will? Just tell me. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not good. But even in the movie of Lucy, she at least was, kind of not really, really horrible. But Elizabeth Bathory was extremely bad. So I don't know.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. She was. Yep, you are right. Yeah, absolutely right.
So yeah, I'm just.
What?
I don't know. I mean, just letting you know what I experienced, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I was hoping I was wrong.
But you are not. No, you are not. And maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. I'm just, thinking. So I'm just kind of worried that people don't want to know the things. I don't know why.
They don't want to hear this. They don't. Some people want to hear what's going on, and then when you tell them, they get upset. And
But
I don't
why?
want people to.
I just want to ask you why.
Because they get worried that it's going to be a problem for them, and then they get anxious about it.
But once it's true, what should I do? I can't hide the truth for people. They should know it.
But people can ask for a protection, right? If from these things.
But it isn't so easy.
What about
and you know it.
keeping themselves clear, like a good conscience and so forth?
Definitely yes, but the people, they to be honest, okay, most people, they are way too comfy, way too comfortable in their own comfort zone. They believe that they shouldn't do practically anything, and there will be always somehow someone, or it will figure something that for itself, and they will be safe. But it isn't like that, and you know it.
Yeah, that's just your belief that you're safe doesn't mean that you will be 100%.
Yeah, you are right. That's true.
So does that go back to like the mentee and things like that?
I think that definitely they will definitely need to start again and again.
Mentee, cinnamon, lemon,
and what? Minty, cinnamon, lemon, and what it was?
honey.
And raw honey. Yeah, you are right. And raw honey. You are right.
Okay.
That's it. Okay, so I think that we are pretty much good for this show. What do you think, huh?
Yeah, I think we're good. Thank you, Peter, for keeping us updated.
Yeah, thank you all, because with this frequency of updating, I think that it will be good for people to know what's new, the latest news, because people deserve to know the truth.
Absolutely, I believe so too. And we appreciate your time, Peter. Thanks for checking in with us and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay, so everyone, thank you for listening in, and until next time, we will keep you updated. Have a good day.
You have been listening to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Ariel Morocco. Join us on YouTube channel Jessica Ariel Morocco and visit www.peter-insider.com and www.readingsbyariel.com. Remember to post your questions in the comments section below the video. We look forward to hearing from you.